I would hear it over and over again, like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't produce a product that has any type of shelf life without preservatives in it. Oh, you can't do this. And it was so foreign to me because in the tech industry, it was like, who can we talk to? Like, who can we get in the room to actually help us solve this problem? Right. And so it was a great launch pad for when I came to launch Hint, and I'd be dealing with our bottler, and he'd say, no, you need preservatives in your product. And I had an idea that I want to launch a product with real fruit and also no preservatives in it, and they would say, oh, that's impossible. And I kept saying, why?
Yeah.
And because that's what I learned.
Asking why.
Keep asking why.
And that impossible. Ugh,
right?
That just makes me like cringe.
Yeah. And frankly, like, I think it was very, very depressing to me for the first year, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to go into CPG, because everybody's like telling me no, 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 no. And maybe they know because they've been in the industry for so long.
What does that stand for? CPG?
CPG. Consumer packaged goods. So I kept thinking that, maybe I don't want to be in this industry. And then I thought, well, I think differently. And so maybe I'm the one that actually needs to go and launch this company around differently and do things differently too. And so I really believe that a lot of the culture and the ethos and lots of things that are super important to any startup. You have to have a great product or service, but I also think like bringing in people who think, that in thinking not like you do necessarily, but think with a can-do attitude and just go do it sort of mentality is very, very important.
And I think that's really cool that you had that experience, AOL, CNN, you were working with people and you had structure around you. So when the time came to bring in people at Hint and add structure into your company, that wasn't foreign to you. Yeah. I know for me, as someone who, honestly, I've pretty much worked for myself, like my entire life. I mean, I'm 23. I got some years to live, but that's probably the wall that I hit the most is, okay, how do I scale me and how do I reach out to people to help me with what I'm growing and let go of things? Yeah. And so I think that's when, very clearly you are an entrepreneur, but I could see that being so valuable, like your work at AOL and all the other places, because that's so important. Yeah. That is so important.
Well, and there's no rules to say, I mean, just as an example to you, I mean, there's no rules to say your business is doing amazing and you're doing lots of great stuff, but it's not to say that you couldn't go inside of a company and then, like, that doesn't mean you failed, right? Like, Julie Rice, one of the co-founders of SoulCycle, I just read that she just took a job at WeWork as their chief creative officer. Wow. And so when I talked to Julie about a year ago, she was saying, like, I've founded this great company, this movement, right, where like people are, on board, and I don't know what I want to do now because I don't necessarily have the next big idea like SoulCycle. So what do I want to do? And I was a little bit surprised when I saw that she took this role at WeWork, and I've been thinking about it over the last 48 hours. I'm like, no, it's really cool. Yeah. Like, it actually says something about WeWork that, they wanted to inject something that Julie had. And, cool. And it's not to say that Julie's going to, I mean, maybe she will sit there forever, but it's not to say that she's going to, sit there forever either.
No
she
rules,
may need to, there's no rules around it. And so I think that's that's a really good point. I would say, too, that as I was starting to build Hint, too, that people, still 13 years later, people from my former companies, from Time, from CNN, will like call me and they're like, oh my God, I just heard like this is your company. That's so cool. And they'll call me and they'll, want to do partnerships with me. Right. They want to, and so I think that's, that it's definitely a network that is, helping me think about things and do things and yeah.